Man went through a trial, and it was a nasty trial, a nasty challenge for him, and it was based on red flag laws. His oppressors decided that they would use red flag laws against him as he was being oppressed. I'll tell you one thing, nobody carrying a gun is oppressed. I have to wonder about where are all of the anti-free speech, black flag trash burners? How come they don't come to our events? You know, where's Antifa when you really, really want them? Ladies and gentlemen, the next guy to talk up here, his name is Eli Pagnuson, and I'll let him tell you his story because it's something that you want to listen to and hear about. Red flag laws are dangerous, destructive, and they are confiscation of your rights. Eli.
Thank you, Jeff. The first person I'd like to thank actually is Miss Cheryl. Perfect. The first person I'd like to thank is Miss Cheryl Todd. I thought I was going to have to stand on tippy toes for a second there. Would have been pretty cool. The first three groups of people I'd like to thank are the people in the writing Discord. For you guys younger than 20, you probably know who you are. The second group are the guys over at the Commando blog with a K, where I originally wrote my story. And I'd like to thank the Arizona Discord for putting me where I am today. Thank you all. With that being said, the state, on an unsubstantiated rumor, tears apart a 14-year-old's room in search of evidence that would give reason for them to tear apart his room. The stories he wrote to himself to cope with past emotional and physical abuse are weaponized against him. He is seen as a traitor, a threat to public safety, and a social pariah. Those around him know him as such, and they sneer at him. They have no idea and don't care about what these things did to him. He cannot speak on his experiences. Doing so exposes him as a threat to society and consequently others. This sounds like some kind of dystopia, similar to accounts of those living under Nazi or Soviet occupation, but it's not. My name is Eli Pagnuson. I was red flagged 6 years ago in California through a protocol called Kids with Guns. They used the violent video games I played against me. They believed that the games I played would mold me into a future school shooter, yet in the same sentence completely disregarded my past abuse. I know many of you in here won't get it, and you'll even hold it against me. I don't care. Newsflash, for those of you still living in the 1990s and still think of these arguments as relevant, video games don't cause violence. Look what causes people to actually go in and shoot up schools. A good book I'd recommend is Why Meadow Died. It was that belief that caused my red flagging to get worse. I'd even made a mistake becoming a glorified urban Boy Scout as a police explorer. For those who don't know, this is a high school police cadet. I wanted to be a cop because I believed in the law. Meanwhile, the people who represented that law were the same people deconstructing my life and making it what they wanted. They wanted to paint a picture of a future school shooter, and I was the one being drafted onto the canvas. They wanted a killer and an example to make. Those who interrogated me had one objective and one alone: to use anything I said against me as proof that I was dangerous. They weaponized the fact that my parents were divorced, that I was depressed, felt alone with few friends, and had nowhere to go outside maybe the local library. My introversion was called up for their investigation. Anyone with sense would have called a lawyer for the injustice that had occurred, but my family didn't understand or see the problem. They were the ones who gave them permission to enter. I couldn't talk to anybody. I was alone. I mean, who was going to listen to some stupid 14-year-old, right? Sometimes I go over the memories, questioning whether I could have controlled my emotional breakdown and ponder alternate scenarios like ditching school. I'm back there sometimes, being interrogated by the police, being accused of lying about who I am to the school district, and seeing my writing, my art, and my identity used against me. The flashbacks for me play like a never-ending nightmare. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I spent the last 3 years drinking my pain away, only having quit drinking months ago. But after 6 years, what did I learn from all this that I can pass on to you? Get involved with state gun groups like the Arizona Citizens Defense League. Understand that in an investigation, law enforcement isn't your friend. Fight back against injustice and don't ever let yourself become a victim. To quote one of my favorite songs, I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.